Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and those that exist beyond such basic confines. I'm your trans host, Kelly the Human. I did not know what to do for the opening, so I just did that, showing off my new dress that I bought. What do you guys think, huh? Is it cute? I love it. It, I just love it. It's so cool. I love it. Makes me feel so much euphoria. I feel so pretty, so beautiful. Like I can actually smile, even though it looks like I'm drooling a little. Yeah. As is seen in the title, we are finally finishing off. I am going to finally be able to finish off this video with, not, I'm going to finally be able to finish off this series. The Black Adam, my review on Black Adam. This, I'm making sure will be the last and final episode of this series. Then I can finally jump onto the Mummy, which I have a few words on that. I've only jotted down a few points for that film, but trust me, I intend to write more. There's some things I love about that. Love about film. Things I dislike, and things I definitely would have done differently. So you can expect that. But today we are finishing off Black Adam, the 2022 film. Yeah. And I gone to bed at normal hours like last couple of nights. And uh, I feel like I wanted to say something else, but I don't remember. I don't know what that something was. So yeah. I'm just gonna say one. I did think of something. Stupid hair. Whoever invented hair needs to be burned at the stake because hair is a horrible flavor. Whoever thought that it was a good flavor, sorry, get out. You've been booted off the island. Anyways, let me say one thing before I finally begin this video, or at least my review, or at least start finishing off my review. I just watched To Kill a Mockingbird because they have it on. They released it on 4K Steelbook at my store, and I just watched it, and it's like, God dang. I remember like the last time I watched it was back in high school because like they had us read the book as well. It was in an English class, so I never finished the book. I never got into it mainly because young and naive, so I was never really into those type of books. I was more into like TV, action, cartoons, you name it. Never the biggest book reader when I was younger, but nowadays I am getting into it and I love it. Currently reading Stars of Chaos. Great series. I highly recommend. Yeah. Anyways, I just want I just, today I had us like read the book, which I never did finish for some reason. I don't remember why. Maybe I couldn't get into it. Maybe, but I don't know. Then they had us like watch the movie, and I remember quite a few scenes from it, but we never did end up finishing the movie in school. Why? I don't know. All I remember is like we got to the court scene, and Atticus was asking about Thomas's arm and why he couldn't use his left hand, and that was it. I never remembered the ending. I don't know, but for another story. That's for another future video. I don't know when I'll get to that one. if you guys want to see that, because I certainly want to go over it. But this video is not about that. 5 minute, almost 6 minutes in, and let's get to. I lost my train of thought. I lost my speech. Yeah, let's finally kick off things I would have done differently if I had been in charge of Black Adam. I didn't put a lot for some reason, but I know like I definitely would have done so many different things. But these are like the main big points that I would have done differently. So without further ado, let's get started. Point number one. Okay, so like you know how in the opening like they had it where Amon was the one like narrating the whole, or like they opened up on the past, right? Zooming in on old Kondak from the 2060 BCE, maybe I think it was. I don't remember. And while they were doing that whole thing, Amon was in the in the thing narrating the whole thing. Something I forgot to put down. Something I don't think I should have. Yeah, yeah. Something I definitely should have put down in the dislike pile. Amon's voice in the opening, it just sounded like he was recording from a booth. Like it just, I know that's probably how they did it, but it just sounded so off. Hearing his voice, it just sounded so off. Like he was in a very tight space. Like they threw him in the closet and just said, "All right, read the script, read the opening, narrate, narrate the opening into the mic." You know, it just, I don't know, it just has a weird echo to it. But my point, the point that I jotted down, so instead of having him be the one that narrates it, I would have had the mother done the narrating instead. I would have had Adriana be the one that narrated the opening instead. Mainly, one, because like they said that she was a teacher. I don't know what she taught, what her course was, but I thought it would have been like, more appropriate coming from her, considering like she's the one that like, you know, passed down the story to her son and everything. Although I guess it does make sense why they had the son do it, why they had a mom do it, but me, I would have had Adriana, because like she knows more about this lore. She knows more about the Black Adam lore than her son does. I guess it was like the story that her mother told her. So like honestly, that's the only all I put for the point. But I think like it makes more like to me it makes sense like why I would have her to be the one, because like she doesn't even know like the real reason on why Teth Adam attacked the palace, why the wizards put him in that tomb. She didn't know until like the Justice Society showed up and explained the whole truth to her. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I'm a little bit? Okay, this is just like a me thing. Next point, so like after Teth Adam regains his powers, in Lake Baikal. And after like the camera's like panning down after like he caught the statue, like the camera pans down and it shows him with his complete costume back and including the cape. Really cool. Great scene. Only I would have brought the hood back, man. I really liked the hood. It was so cool. It felt so menacing, so powerful. I I would have kept the hood because I loved it. Even like with the bullet holes added into it during like the tomb fight. I would have kept the hood. Probably wouldn't have made sense to keep the bullet holes as well, but eh, oh well. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, basically I would have just kept the hood. I liked it, I thought it was cool. Okay, this is so when Maxine like warns Maxine explains the whole thing about the helmet, like where it like from, like how Ken is possessed by it. She wants Al not to touch it, otherwise it'll make him go insane. This is just me, like for comedic effect. Hmm. This is me because I think it would be really funny. I would have had Al touch the helmet anyways, or at least some point in the story. Helmet, the helmet's just like sitting around somewhere, Ken's off doing his own thing, left the helmet behind by accident or something. I would have had Al touch the helmet and see what happens from there, Figure it out. Like, how insane would he go? How mad would it drive him in the moment? And would they be able to pull him out of it in time to either stop Teth Adam or Sabak? You know? I think it would have added more weight to his character. Now that I think about it. Like, not just have it in for comedic effect, but man, I really love torturing. I love torturing characters. They're fun. Seeing the characters get tortured is really fun. Oh, second to last bit. As I stated before in my last video, the whole you and me scene. I would have had it as I would have had there been. I was really unhappy that there was no scene to build upon that. All it was like this the empty threats of you and me. Get back once we get back to the ship, you and me. Yes, sir. I I would have put in a whole scene around that. At least like a maybe like a credit scene around that because I thought it would be like really funny to see Al get like lectured on the whole thing, on the whole bit. You know, I did think it would be really funny because I really was hoping for that. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they like, finish it? It was such a funny bit. You and me, you and me, and that was it. Just two interactions of the you and me. Nothing else. Nothing on the cruiser. No thing. Because Carter clearly was done with well, at certain points in the film. It was like he was just done with it. It was like, stop. When I was going basically interpreting what the writing on the crown meant, like his interpretation, Carter looks at him and whispers, "Stop." Like, 10 points. He's just done with Al. And I would have had a whole conversation about that. I would have put in a whole little small conversation about that because I think it would have been really funny. And last but not least, the final point. No, yeah, this is a shorter video. Like I said, I didn't have much to say about here. I didn't put a lot down. If you want to see more about like what I would have done differently, even though I haven't really thought it through, just let me know, Let me know in the comments. As a matter of fact, let me know in the comments what you would have done differently when making this film. What you would have done differently. I would love to know. I think it'd be really cool. Whether you would have done for something happier, more wholesome, or more dark and depressing. As I like to tell my stories. But, just let me know. Anyways, so for those that watch the trailers, okay, in the second official trailer, you know how like it opens up, the trailer opens up on him, on Teth Adam, floating in the freezing cold water, just like just that. My idea, I would have done the opening completely different. I would have done it completely different. I would have had to open up the film on that, like similar to how the trailer did it. I would have opened up the film like a fade in effect with like a wide shot of with the wide shot of the camera being focused on Teth Adam, just floating in the water, just there, suspended in the water. Instead of like having it open up on the past of Kondak. Oh, nope. I had done that in the wrong order. So instead of like having it, so forget the wide shot. Have it instead of like the fade effect, open up underneath Teth Adam, as he's suspended in the water, just floating up, slowly rising towards the surface of the ice. Well, not really ice, considering it wasn't exactly the whole lake wasn't exactly frozen, but you know what I mean. Have it opened up on that, like just like below him. Man, I'm yawning a lot in these videos. Why? I have no idea. Anyways, done that. All right, and then have the camera just sit there for a few seconds, maybe. Like 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then like swap over. Then finally swap over to the wide shot of him. What did I put down? Okay, so like slide open to the wide shot. A couple more seconds of that, and then we finally have the narration brought in. I haven't thought of which, but like in this version, that I think it would have been a better opening. I think would have been a better opening. Dang it. I don't know who I would have done the narration instead. Maybe like either keep Adriana, like I said in the first point, or maybe have Teth Adam be the one that narrates it. Either way, after the narration starts and it does a thing, then I would have jumped it into the past, like past Kondak, to the time of King Acton. I don't know. I just feel like doing that opening instead would have given it more emotion because we would open up the film basically near the end, near the final battle, like in the midst of the final battle, just before he gets his powers back. Then we would have jumped into the far, far into the past at the time of King Acton, and then we would see as the film play out, see how we got into that point in the freezing cold water, or maybe like trick some people into thinking that it's like, hey, this is how he originally got his powers. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. I think it would have been like a really cool, better opening in my mind, my opinion. But what do you guys think? You think that would have worked instead? Like, I'm not hating on the opening. I think it was a really cool one. It was nice, fun. Itchy nose. But you know, yeah. I guess for now, that's all I have to say. Other than like maybe just like find a way to keep Sabak out of it and have Teth Adam and the Justice Society, have multiple fights throughout the film. Because they essentially just had one fight together. They had one fight, and then they were teaming up. They had their little bickering here and there, but that was it. Just small little bickering, like verbal bickering, little verbal fights. And that was it. Then Sabak came around the corner and was like, "Sup, motherfuckers? Guess who?" So, what do you guys think? Think my ideas would have worked better, or or they just absolute poo? I'm not sure what else to say, so I'll just close off the video here. Shorter than the last one, but shortest video in the Black Adam review series. But as long as you guys enjoy it, as long as we all enjoy it together, I think that's what matters. Yeah, not much else to say, so I'm just gonna close it off here. Like and subscribe for more content that'll take centuries to produce, because I have no idea what I'm doing. So thank you for sitting through with this with me, sitting through my long rants, my long list with me, and you know, see you next time. Thank you all. Bye bye. Bye besties.